What's up guys, I'm Chez and this is Chez M0i. Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to my channel and to another restaurant review. Today I'm reviewing Brother Marcus in Angel Islington. If you watched my previous video, you'll know that my friend Gina and I went to Afro Hair and Beauty Live, which was held at the Business Design Centre in Islington. At the end of that video, you would have seen we would have gone to get something to eat. So what follows next is a 9-minute montage of our search for some food. Watch that clip and I'll come back with my review.
Yeah, let's go there. As usual. Yeah. What do you want to do? I like bagels, yeah. Really? What's that? Yeah, what's this? It's a baba. I'm thinking, what? That looks quite interesting, this place. Yeah. Yeah. Do you have to make a reservation? Hi, do we have to make a reservation? No? Okay. Can we have yeah, table for two, please. Yeah.
All day. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Thank you so much. experienced that, so this was the first time I've been here. Marcus breakfast. Shall I have that? I don't even know what to have. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Cheers, love. Was it nice, Gina?
It was delicious, really nice.
Yeah, mine was good as well.
Yeah.
Packaging of their things. See? Is it? Oh wow. Love it. Yeah. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Okay.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed that clip. As you could see, we had options presented to us, but we weren't feeling many of them until we got to number 10, and that was Brother Marcus. If you're familiar with my restaurant reviews, you'll know that I go through each category and give a rating, and then I give my overview with an overall rating. First category is accessibility. The nearest tube station is Angel on the Northern Line. We got to the Northern Line via Overground to Euston, and you change at Euston and it's 2 stops away. So very easy to get to. You can access it by car. I've driven through Angel many times, but I've never walked through there. Obviously, being central, sort of north central London, you're going to have your parking restrictions during peak time, so during the weekdays before 6:30. So if you're going to go to that area before 6:30, bear in mind that you will have to pay for parking. If you're going to travel through central London to get to that area, you will have to take into account that if it's before 6 o'clock, congestion charge applies. Okay, so bearing all those things in mind, the other alternative that you have is a taxi or an Uber. But overall, this area, this venue is easily accessible. Having said that, where it actually is in Camden Passage, you will not be able to take a vehicle up there unless it's a bike. Okay, so if you're going to bike it there, perfect, because you can leave it right outside the door. Failing that, once you get off your chosen mode of transport, you have to walk through Camden Passage because it's a pedestrianised area. That's not even a chore in itself, because as you could see, we were walking through those. I love those types of, I hate saying this word, but even Gina said it, back passage. But that's the only way I can describe it. Those back passages in London, it makes you think you're not in London, because the types of shops that are there, they're so individual, and it's just a pleasure to walk through those types of streets, because you've got, you know, pretty flowers on display, lovely shop fronts, you've got antique stores there. I'm not, you know, particularly into antiques, but just having those types of shops there and all the different types of eateries as well, it's a very pleasant walk. So I'm not even going to knock the fact that it's not on the doorstep of the station, because I would prefer the build up to getting to the restaurant. I'm sure some of you guys know what I mean, but I would estimate a 10-minute walk from Angel Tube Station to Brother Marcus. If I'm wrong, put it in the comments and let me know, but I think it was that. But the walk itself, on a day like that, on the day we went, perfect. Accessibility, I'm going to say 9 out of 10. The next category is staff. So guys, as you could see, when we entered the restaurant, we were greeted by, I guess, the manager of the restaurant. As soon as we came in, she greeted us and she asked us if we wanted a table for two, and she immediately informed us that it was brunch all day. The time that we were there was after 3. It was going to be kind of a late lunch, but she said brunch all day, which was fine, not a problem. Very professional, very pleasant, you know, didn't give off any bad vibes or anything. She was very welcoming. Our waitress, she was very pleasant as well. She explained everything, and she asked us if we had any allergies, which we've never been asked before. Even though you could see on the menu that they had the allergy advice written down, she actually asked us personally if we had any allergies, and Gina was quick to spot that, because she actually said to the girl, "We've never been asked that before, it's nice that you asked." So that was a nice touch. So I'm going to give the staff 9 out of 10. They were good. They were really good. Next category, decor and layout. So guys, I have to comment on this, because this type of establishment had the perfect decor and layout for me. Nothing too fussy. It had that neo soul vibe. That's what I picked up immediately as I walked through the door. The decor and the layout reflected the atmosphere of that place as I felt it. You can see the wood. It wasn't too much wood. It looked like too much, but it actually wasn't. I didn't feel it was too much. They weren't doing the most with the wood. And then as we went further in, you could see there was one wall which had white tiling. So it was a contrast, but it kind of worked. And then you had the hanging plants on the walls, and as you can see, I filmed, they had a skylight which brought a lot of light in from above. So I was really pleasantly surprised by the decor, the layout, you know, how the chairs were laid out, enough space to walk through. They had the banquettes there, the benches there. Great. It was perfect for the vibe that it was giving off. And even to add to the quirkiness, they had the illuminated sign that I filmed. Happily sit there with a, you know, for another hour, because it had that chill, laid back vibe, which brings me onto ambience. That's what I want to talk about next. That's the next category. The ambience was, again, very laid back, and I think I need to marry the decor and the layout to the ambience, because the decor and the layout contributed so significantly to the ambience. In addition to that, you had the background music. I think they did play some neo soul there, so that vibe was great. It was good. It was very relaxing. It was a contrast to where we were previously, you know, Afro Hair and Beauty, because that was very energetic. That was very, there were a lot of people. This was, paradoxically, it was very low key. In a, I hate saying backstreet, because it's not, it wasn't a bad location. Just that whole, the area, the location, the decor, the layout, it just contributed very well to give a good ambience. The background music was playing, it balanced out our conversation. There was still a buzz. There weren't that many people in there, but you could still hear the buzz of people. And I noticed that there weren't any children in there, maybe because it was half term and they were doing other things, but it didn't seem like it was, it's not that it's not family friendly. I'm not saying families can't go there, but the ambience kind of reflected the clientele, if that makes sense. So you've got, I don't know these terms, Gen Z and millennials. Gina and I are not millennials. Can't even say the word. Gina and I are not millennials by any stretch of the imagination. We are women in our 50s, but we felt at home in that place. Okay, you know, you had some young girls there. I'd say my daughter's age or a bit older. I didn't see anyone standing out. I didn't feel that Gina and I stood out. We didn't feel uncomfortable in that place. It was just a good place to be on that day at that time. I wouldn't have wanted to be anywhere else, and that's why when you saw us walking through the passage, it was 9 establishments we considered, but it wasn't right. There was just something. I just think we're very picky as people when we choose where we want to eat. I think we have similar tastes, Gina and I, and we just were not feeling those first 9. But this one, Brother Marcus, yeah, that was the one. So I'm gonna give ambience a 9 out of 10. And if I didn't rate decor and layout before, I'm gonna give decor and layout 9 out of 10. Great. The next category is menu. As I always do for you guys, I quickly scan the menu so you can see what's on offer and the prices that you're going to be paying, just to give you an idea. You can see that it was only printed on one side. I don't think this was their typical menu, because there was an item on there which was specifically in relation to the Platinum Jubilee. So I think that menu was printed specially for that weekend. So that was good. I mean, they had enough dishes on there. But before I even get to that, let me speak about the drinks first. They had a good selection of drinks. You saw the separate wine list drinks menu that they had. They had a good selection of drinks. We chose to have the house-made pomegranate ginger beer. So refreshing on a day like that. It wasn't overpowering as normal, you know, regular ginger beer. Because of the pomegranate element, it was very refreshing. You could taste the ginger in there, but it didn't feel like it was burning the back of your throat. And yeah, that was a good drink to have on that day. It complemented our meals perfectly. And before they'd even brought the drinks, you saw that they brought out water. Now, it was just regular water, but how they presented that water, I love the bottle. I would have loved to have taken that bottle home with me, because it just added to the quirkiness of everything. Things that you think would not go together, they actually went together, and that detail with the bottle, yeah, it was great. So the drinks I'm going to give house-made, okay, house-made pomegranate and ginger beer. It's not something I've ever had before, never seen it on a menu before. Happily have it again. So drinks, 9 out of 10. When we talk about the food now, This is a tricky one because, as I say, that menu was a small menu. There were still enough dishes on there. The only problem was that I would say 70% of those dishes contained egg. Gina does not eat egg, so her choice was very limited, which is why she ended up having the sweet potato fritters, which she enjoyed. But I wish they'd had more that she could choose from, because, as I say, the majority of those dishes contained egg. Now, if you have an allergy to eggs, or you just have an aversion to eggs, you would not have liked this menu. But as I say, I think that menu was for that 4-day weekend. I'm not sure whether that's their typical menu. So I have to be careful how I rate this. Now, with regard to my dish, I kind of temporarily forgot that it was East Mediterranean cuisine. So when I saw Marcus' breakfast and I saw that they had egg, hash brown, mushroom, beans, sausage and bacon, immediately what came into my mind was a picture of English breakfast. Because you know, when you go to the Mediterranean, when you have breakfast, a cooked breakfast, that's what you normally get, English breakfast. I'd never had an East Mediterranean breakfast before. So when I saw those elements, I was expecting what I would normally see. When they brought it out, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, it tasted a whole lot better than it looked, and that's no disrespect to the chef. It's just that the sausages look burnt, but I guarantee you guys they were not burnt. They were spicy. They tasted really good. I'm not a fan of bacon, but I ate the bacon. The mushrooms, you know, when you get mushrooms in a cooked breakfast, you expect the button mushrooms, but they weren't button mushrooms. It was a big mushroom slice. I don't know what type of mushroom it was, but it was you knew it was mushroom. Tasty mushroom. Hash browns. I'm not a fan of hash browns, because when I've had hash browns in the past, it's tasted like cardboard, and the texture is a bit rough. But this one, I can't say that about this one. It was very tasty. The texture was great. Finished that off. What else was there? Egg. Okay, so typically when I've had a fried egg in a restaurant, they always come out with the yolk is always runny, sunny side up, and I specifically said if they could cook that through, and they did. That was good. Finished that off. Had pita bread. Pita bread was fresh. It was great. The other thing that I had was what was the other thing that I had? Can't remember now. Oh yeah, this was what it was. Okay, so they had beans. Now again, I thought it was going to be baked beans that you'd normally see on a cooked breakfast. So when I saw the plates and I didn't recognize what I thought were going to be beans, I actually asked the waitress. I said, "Oh, do beans not come with this?" She said, "Oh, the beans are there." So when I looked, the beans were actually there, but it was like it was a mash. It wasn't haricot beans that are used in a tin of baked beans. I think if these were red beans or kidney beans, and they were mashed. Tasty. As you can see, we both finished off our plates. I didn't eat the salad, the tomato, and I think it was lettuce that was there. Or was it cucumber? Something green anyway. Because for some reason I don't like cold, I don't like salad next to like the hotter elements on my plate. So I tend not to eat the salad. That's just something in me. I didn't even taste it, so I can't even say anything about the salad, but I knew I wasn't going to eat the salad. So in order for me to give the food, the rating, based on the fact that we both cleared our plates. Yeah, we did. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. However, I'm going to have to deduct a point because of the limitations presented to Gina, because she didn't have an extensive choice because she doesn't like eggs, and the majority of those dishes contain egg. So for the food, I'll have to give it a 7 out of 10, and I think that is fair under the circumstances. So I know that was a bit rambly, but I wanted you to understand why I arrived at the rating that I did for the food. So I hope that's helpful. Okay, so the next category is prices and the bill. So as you can see from the menu, the prices were fairly reasonable. In that part of London, because it is Islington is very popular. It's very, I don't know whether gentrified is the right word. Where that restaurant is located, it's amongst very specialist shops or establishments. So the location, I guess you would take into consideration that part of London. However, I was pleasantly surprised with the prices, because they were what we've been paying, you know, more or less. All the restaurants that I've reviewed, you know, they've been more or less the same. So I would say it's good value for money. Those prices, the food that we had, it was good. In the last review I did when we were at Liverpool Street, we didn't have a hot beverage or dessert. Obviously that would have bumped up the bill depending on what we would have had, but we didn't have that again this time. We just had a main and drinks. So under £40, not going to complain about that. So I'm happy with the prices. I'm happy to pay those prices. The bill, as you saw, came to just over £39. So yeah, nothing to complain about there. So the prices, I'm going to give, let me say 8 out of 10 for the prices. I think that's fair as well. Finally, guys, we get to the toilets. Now, this is one occasion that I actually did not visit the toilet facilities. I actually had to think back whether I did, because I have no memory of the toilets at Brother Marcus. I actually had to call Gina in the week and ask her, did I use the toilets? And she said no straight away. She said you didn't use the toilets. And I know why, because I'd used the facilities at Afro Hair and Beauty before we left, so I didn't need to go. However, I called Brother Marcus during the week to ask them if they had any disabled facilities, and he was very honest. He said no, unfortunately we don't. I said, I asked then, were the doors wide enough for a disabled person, maybe in a wheelchair, to access? He said yes, they are wide enough. However, the toilets are situated at the bottom of a flight of stairs. So even though the doorways would have been wide enough, that person could never use the facilities because they cannot use the stairs. This doesn't just apply to people with disabilities. I'm thinking about my mum in this scenario, because that is somewhere I would have loved to have taken my mum, because she loves that type of place. She absolutely loves it, and I know she would have been happy to go there. The only thing that would have stopped me taking her was the inaccessibility to the toilets, because my mum, she's not disabled, there's nothing wrong with her, but she's at that age now where she doesn't want to have to manage stairs. She just likes everything all on one level. So from that point of view, it's going to be very difficult for me to rate the toilets. Number one, because I didn't set eyes on the toilets myself. So from a standpoint of assumption that their facilities are going to be in good order and clean to a good standard, an acceptable standard, let me start off with 7 out of 10. However, I'm going to deduct 2 points because they have no disabled toilets, and the toilets are, you have to go down a flight of stairs to access them. So I'm going to take away 2 points, resulting in a total for the toilets of 5 out of 10. Now guys, I know I didn't see them, but I'm trying to be as fair as possible in my assessment, and the fairest rating that I can give it is 5 out of 10. Okay, so I hope you guys understand that, and I hope that's helpful for you. So what would I rate Brother Marcus overall? Even taking the toilets into consideration, which I'm not in this overall rating. I've given you the individual rating for what I perceive the toilet should be. So I'm going to take that out just to be fair, and I'm going to give Brother Marcus an 8.5 out of 10 because I definitely would go there again. I love the vibe in that place. The food, even though I wasn't too sure about it initially, I finished my food. It was tasty, it was good, and it was filling because I didn't eat when I got home. I must have got home about, we left there about I'd say about 4:30. So we spent a good hour in there. and for the rest of the evening I didn't have anything. So yeah, I would definitely go there again. However, I would like to try the other two restaurants in that chain, the one in Spitalfields and the one in Boroughs Yard. Brother Marcus has 3 restaurants: Angel Islington, Spitalfields, where Gina and I were a few weeks ago in that area. I hadn't seen Brother Marcus though. I've never even heard of this chain before. Spitalfields is their largest restaurant apparently, and Boroughs Yard in South East 1, SE1. I guess that's not far from Borough Market. That is their newest restaurant according to their website. So I would like to try those two just to compare, just to sort of compare in my mind against the Angel branch. If any of you guys have been to any of these branches in London, let me know in the comments and let me know what you thought. So that's my overview. 8.5 out of 10 for Brother Marcus Angel Islington. Now before I wrap up this video guys, I want to kind of explain what happened towards the end. And this is not something that we would typically do, stop off somewhere after we finished eating. We would just normally go home, but it was such a pleasant afternoon, and I think we passed Penhaligon's when we first went down Camden Passage, but on the way back the smell was so inviting we had to go into that shop. I've loved Penhaligon's. Penhaligon's is a perfumer's that's been around for, I think it's since 1870, so it's an established English brand, and they have a few stores in London. When we went in there, the lady was so nice. She was so pleasant, warm and welcoming, and she asked us where we had come from. Had we come from Afro Hair and Beauty? And we said yes. And she said, oh, you know, she would have loved to have gone. She didn't register because she knew she had to work. We had wristbands when we left because we were asked whether we were going to go back to the event. And we said, yeah, just in case we were. We didn't end up going back, but we still had our wristbands on. And then Gina proceeded to carefully take hers off and give it to the lady in the shop and said, if you want to go after work, use this and you'll get in. Basically, she wouldn't have had to pay. That was so nice of Gina, because the lady welcomed us. You know, we were talking with her for a good 10 minutes in the shop. Her manager was there and he just looked at us like, oh, what are you doing? You're not going to buy anything. We didn't buy anything, unfortunately. But he just left us to it. And so we were talking to her. She tried, you know, she allowed us to try different scents, including my favourite scent, which is oud, because that's the first one I asked her about. Have you got the oud fragrance? And she sprayed it on, loved it. And then as we were about to leave, she said, I've got something for you. Guys, this is what she gave us. A Penhaligon's handkerchief, which she sprayed. This one she sprayed with my favourite scent, and Gina's one she sprayed with a scent of Gina's choice. And I can tell you, the scent is still there. It's faint, but it's still there. This was given to me on the 2nd of June. Today is the 11th. Yeah, Saturday the 11th of June. And the scent is still there. I will never use this. When I change my location, I know exactly where I'm going to keep this, what I'm going to do with this. And every time I look at this, I'll just remember that I had a great day. Yeah, it was the Jubilee weekend, but I won't remember it for Jubilee Thursday. I'll remember that I had a great day with one of my best friends. We went to an event that we were happy was back on after 2 years hiatus due to, you know, the pandemic. And we rounded it off with a great meal, great conversation. And this lady was so nice to us. She gave us this. So yeah, it was such a good day, guys. And I just wanted to sort of put that in the video just to sort of explain what happened at the end, because that's not something that we would normally do. But yeah, that rounded off such a good day, and yeah, it kind of restored my faith in people generally, because the way that things are, you sort of have your guard up all the time, especially in London, where we're told constantly that we're not friendly. That interaction we had with that lady when we went into her shop just proved that it's not all bad. There are friendly people, and the thing is, If you're friendly to people, they'll be friendly back to you. You know, Gina and I are very sociable. We've known each other since I was 12 and she was 11. So the best part of 40 years we've known each other. We used to rave together, go clubbing together back in the day. We're mothers now. Our lives have gone in different directions. But it's nice to know that as my friend, we can still, you know, we've gone into a next phase where we're now spending time together in a different way. We're not clubbing anymore. We're too old for that, yeah, but we enjoy ourselves in different ways. So it was good to spend time with my friend. It was good to go to an event that we've missed. It was great. And then to round it off, we spent time in a great restaurant, which I would definitely go back to again. And yeah, it was a good day. I'll remember that day for many reasons. And this, what we were given, just kind of topped it off. So I will have great memories of that day. So guys, as I wrap up this video, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have your own experience of Brother Marcus, whether it's the Angel restaurant, the Spitalfields restaurant, or the Boroughs Yard restaurant, let me know in the comments what you would rate any of those restaurants. Would you recommend going there? Did you have a good experience? Did you enjoy the food? Or did you not have a good experience? Let me know, guys. I'd love to hear your feedback. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and you will catch me in the next video.